Hello everyone. In this picture you can see a catheter bag, so we're off to a great start. I didn't want to draw a catheter bag, but nothing else sounds closer to Catherine than catheter. So catheter bag it is. It represents the name Catherine. Now I'm not saying that people called Catherine look like catheter bags, it's just a convenient mnemonic. Believe me, that's the nicest picture of a catheter bag I could make. The liquid in this one is blue. It's not yellow. Let's move on from the catheter bag. Okay, so she is holding a blue tube. The blue tube is a fluorescent tube filled with the noble gas argon. Argon sounds like Aragon. So this is Catherine of Aragon. You might ask, why didn't I draw someone replacing a light bulb instead of a martial artist? Hey, do you remember that scene in that martial arts film where a caretaker changes a light bulb? No, you don't. We can use the Bruce Lee qualities of this picture to remember that, much like Bruce Lee, Catherine made her exit quite early. She was about 24 when she died. Also, that pole held horizontally looks like the number 1 in kanji. Kanji. Different. Exotic. Memorable. That represents that she was the first wife of Henry VIII. Okay, so next to her is a small horse. A female horse is called a mare, and mare sounds like Mary. Now, I'm not saying that people called Mary are female horses. I'm saying that it is a convenient memory technique. Mary I is the daughter of Catherine of Aragon. The horse has red hair because Mary I was known as Bloody Mary when she reigned. The red horse sounds like an English pub. You can imagine Catherine, Ninja of Aragon, getting into a Steven Seagal type fight in a pub. Imagine the weak plot and bad script writing. I just want to install this fluorescent light tube in the red horse. The red horse is an incandescent-only pub. My family was fluorescented to death, so you can take your fluorescent tube and stick it where the sun don't shine. Leave now, or pain will be happening in this drinking establishment. Okay, this is a big ant. Ants can lift 50 times their own body weight above their head, so I don't want to imagine what it's going to do to those pills. I wonder what size of ant would have the exact same strength as a human. If I saw an ant that was the size of a dog, would I be able to easily restrain it, or would it instead juggle me and 3 other people? It's important to know this sort of stuff, just in case. Anyway, ant sounds like the name Anne. Now, here is where you can kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Next to Anne the Ant, are 2 bowling pins. The 2 pins represent that she was Henry VIII's second wife. That's the first bird. Anne the Ant is bowling. Ant bowling sounds like Anne Boleyn. Second bird. And instead of using a bowling ball to bowl, she carelessly uses her own insane strength to rip off her own head and use it as a bowling ball. This is because her head was chopped off, which does not sound like a very amicable divorce. Third bird. I love it when a mnemonic comes together. Okay, next to her is a small lizard. Lizard and Elizabeth both share the sound Liz. Now, I'm not saying that people call... Well, I think you get it by now. Elizabeth I was the daughter of Anne Boleyn. Liz the lizard is coloured gold because historians often describe the reign of Elizabeth I as the golden era in English history. The Golden Lizard sounds like a restaurant. You can imagine Anne the Ant, after a long session of superpowered bowling, being quite hungry. She trades the bowl of bowling for a bowl of something spicy at the Golden Lizard. Now, you might groan, but you will remember that. Now, I'm wondering how many calories an ant that size would need to consume. I've just assigned myself another eccentric internet task alongside what sort of arena you'd need to construct to ensure a fair fight between a bear and a shark, and how many monkeys you would need to take down a full-size giraffe. Why do I need to know these things? Okay, I understand that this looks like something from a 3-year-old's alphabet book, but please bear with me. There is a method behind the madness. This is a giant letter J. It sounds like the name Jane without the "hmm." This Jane has 3 eyes and they are big. That means that Jane the J can see more than other people. Oh, come on, that's not a bad mnemonic. The 3 eyes also represent that she was Henry VIII's 3rd wife. Next to her is a head with the word "word" written on the head. We can call this character Headward, which sounds like Edward. Henry VIII was constantly trying for a male heir. In his world, he finally rolled a 6. So we have a dice showing the number 6 in this picture. This can also help us to remember that this Edward became Edward VI after Henry died. You might wonder, why is the Edward head so big compared to Jane Seymour? This is to help you remember that Jane Seymour died 12 days after giving birth to Edward due to complications. This thing scares me, especially with those intense eyes. This looks very David Cronenberg. I thought that drawing a cute face on the cleaver would take the edge off it, but it didn't. The ant with the cleaver is Anne of Cleves. She is the one holding the cleaver. Nobody is chopping her head off. In a battle royale between an ant with a cleaver and the other characters, I would say this is the last one standing, especially with the 4 legs that give her more manoeuvrability and represent that she was the 4th wife. She was the last wife standing. She outlived the other 5 wives and Henry VIII. I would not even attempt to restrain a dog-sized ant that is holding a cleaver. Deja vu! Another catheter bag! Yippee! This lady was, of course, another Catherine. This Catherine wants to prove how hard she is. For some reason, a Manchester accent works with the words how hard. She does 3 things. Firstly, she removes her own head from her body to prove how hard she is. She, like Anne Boleyn, also underwent a non-consensual head removal procedure. Secondly, she puts a dangerous snake in front of her to prove how hard she is. The snake looks like the number 5 because she was the 5th wife. Thirdly, she uses her own head as a punching bag to prove how hard she is. She does this to prove how hard she is because she is Catherine Howard, or Catherine Howard. That's another bird hat trick. On the right, we can see a floating cat head. This cat is a tomcat, so it represents the name Thomas. It is floating over a pepper pot wearing sunglasses. The sunglasses represent the idea of cool because I grew up watching Happy Days and Fonzie wore sunglasses and he was cool. Yes, I am a sad man. The pepper pot represents pepper. That's quite straightforward. Tomcat, cool, pepper. This is a character called Thomas Culpepper. He is holding some candy floss because it is what you eat when you go to a fairground. I heard about Thomas Culpepper and Catherine Howard and affair. This was apparently the reason why Henry divorced her using an axe. I don't get it. Maybe he was angry because he didn't get any candy floss. This is the last catheter bag I am drawing. This is the final Catherine and Henry's final wife. She's playing golf because golf scores are always counted under par. She was Catherine Parr. She got to play more holes than Henry because she managed to outlive him. Instead of a golf ball, she is hitting a dice because she was the sixth wife and the highest score on a dice is 6. And that is all the wives of Henry VIII. This is an image of a carjack. Bear with me. Henry's wives were Catherine, Anne, Jane, Anne, Catherine and Catherine. That makes CAJACC. That kind of sounds like carjack. Think of a large hen being lifted by a carjack in order to help you remember all these names in their order of marriage to Henry. That should help you to never forget all the wives of Henry VIII. Thank you very much, everyone. If you would like to, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. It is all greatly appreciated. And until next time, I'm Wacky Historian. Thanks for visiting.